Well, it looks like they're setting up for some kind of event. And hey there, welcome to a scorcher. Today is Tuesday, June 24th. It is 5:08 p.m. and the temperature is about 34 degrees Celsius. And with the humidity, it is clocking in around 40. And I'm here at Dundas Square. That's the intersection of Yonge and Dundas. And this is the third and final day, hopefully, of this heat wave. Sorry, I just got a little distracted there. But for this one, we're just going to go for a little walk. I'm going to head east along Dundas Street. Then maybe at Jarvis, we'll head north all the way up to Bloor. I've been a bad boy. I haven't really been getting my steps in as I should over the past few days. But I don't think you can really blame me for that. Tomorrow is supposed to be a much more reasonable 26 or so degrees Celsius. There's a 505 Dundas streetcar. And that was a safe injection site operated by the city. But the province shut it down. I think the jury is still out on what the impacts will be long term. I know some people in the area who say, just based on their anecdotal observations, things aren't really any better. But oh my, this weather is gross. The TMU, formerly the university known as Ryerson campus, is just to the north of here. I wonder if anyone's on the Imperial pub patio on a day like this. Nope. Everyone's probably inside basking in the AC. There's the old Torch building, formerly home to City TV. Rogers recently moved all those operations over to their headquarters on the north end of Jarvis Street, or I guess Ted Rogers Way, which is ironically where we're heading. As I walk past the Imperial pub. There's kind of a rather hot, unpleasant breeze blowing around. And I apologize for my laziness as of late, but I don't really feel like getting out and exploring the nether regions of the city in conditions like this. I've just kind of kept everything close to downtown or where I live. There's some events coming up on this coming weekend though. The Pride Festival will be taking over Church Street, which we're about to pass. I think there's an Asian food festival up in Scarborough. And there's another event at Bathurst and Wilson in Little Manila. So there should be plenty to keep me busy camera in hand on the weekend. This might be one of the few Grand Union intersections where streetcars can turn in any direction, coming from any direction. There's only a few of them in the city. If it's not, please do correct me down below in the comments. On the left used to be an Esso gas station. I don't know how good of a view we can get in there, but they've been excavating several stories down and they're starting to build up the foundation.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And just for the sake of staying out of the sun, I think when I head up Jarvis, I might stick to the west side of the street. I am rocking sunglasses I bought in Thailand, as well as a Pattaya t-shirt. There's a country that they get weather like this all the time. But apparently with the humidex, yesterday was the muggiest day we've experienced in about 12 years. We're coming off one of our coldest springs in recent history. So the weather's certainly been all over the place. I mentioned it before, but this is one of the intersections that has transformed the most downtown. If you go to Google Street View, not too long ago there would be no towers on any of the corners, and now there are 3. There was a development proposal as I head north up Jarvis for this parking lot here, but it looks like those plans have been shelved. And there's a notice saying there's a proposed 15-story tower. MLSE Launchpad, which I believe is now wholly or mostly owned by Rogers. Bell sold off their shares. There's a very unique inverted pyramid that used to house the headquarters of Sears Canada, and it was connected, or it still is connected, to a building that served as a warehouse on Mutual Street just over there. Oh, this is nice. Wouldn't call it a cool breeze, but it is a breeze. Walking in the shade a little bit. But this street was named after Samuel Jarvis, who was a loyalist. And believe it or not, a long time ago, this was more of a wide boulevard. And there was a grassy center where a lot of the city's elite horses used to race. It features this unique reversible lane in the middle. That's why there's no solid yellow line. Right now it looks to be a northbound lane. You can see that green arrow there, that'll flip to being a red X. And that center lane flips around. And that stretch is reversible between Queen to the south of here and Isabella, which is north of here. I think it's just northbound from around 3:45 to 6:30 p.m. or so. I remember reading that at some point. And there's a 5-minute period where it doesn't change. Artist Bill Reed used to live there. Speaking of used to, I believe that used to be a notorious hotel of sorts. My brain might be scrambled. There's the Econo Lodge that was closed during the pandemic and serving as a shelter. And I think that might be the case based on the fact that there's a security guard in a vest popping out of that door. As we get to Jarvis Street, and probably the most infamous fast food restaurant in all the land. Some might say it's the McDonald's at Spadina and Queen. But this one definitely takes the case. That's the one and only Hooker Harvey's. And when I started this channel, when I first started narrating videos, I was looking for interesting talking points. And And I was spending some time in Google Maps, and I had the idea to type Hooker Harvey's into Google Maps. And sure enough, it brought this location up. And just across the street is the Jarvis Street Baptist Church. And if you're wondering where that name came from, well, it should be self-explanatory. But back in the 70s and 80s, into the 90s and even early 2000s, this was an area where you would often see street workers, aka ladies of the night. And a little thing called Craigslist came out along with the internet. And you don't really see that kind of activity anymore. There's an old, really nice looking home. Or at least it would have been. And across the street is the Allen Gardens. This area is known as the Garden District. There's a large botanical gardens in there, and the Palm House recently reopened after being closed for a very long time, being renovated. I've heard mixed reviews. People like the job they did architecturally, but they're saying inside it's quite barren and not quite up to the standards that it used to be. Maybe they're still just building it up. I'll have to go in there and check it out at some point. As we get to Carlton Street, well, almost. There's the old Primrose Hotel, which was purchased by then Ryerson University and turned into a campus residence. It's got this nifty artwork on the side, which we can't really see from this side of the street. And again, with the sun to the west, I figured it might be a little more shaded on this side. You can read about the artwork there, although you can't really see it. And Carlton here is home to the 506 Carlton streetcar. And that's the Grace Church of Toronto across the street. Leaf Gardens is just west of here, over at Church. And back in 2009, the city voted to add bike lanes to Jarvis Street. And they removed that reversible lane and put them in. But then under Rob Ford, he wanted them removed, so out they came. And the reversible lane was restored. That was just a few years later, but the good news is bike lanes were added just east of here to Sherbourne Street. On the left, we have the Betty Elephant Theater. This is a sprawling campus, home to the National Ballet School of Canada. The original building dates back to 1856. I think that might be this one, the Maison Lozinski House. There's a lot of old mansions, I guess you could call them, in this area. On Jarvis and Sherbourne, through an area known as Upper Jarvis. There's one over there that's for sale, as this used to be where the wealthy would live in the city. Oh, here's actually the Betty Elephant Theater. It's crazy to think there would have been horses trotting up and down in the center median. It's not a very secure way to leave a delivery at a building like that. All right, this is Maitland. Nice tree-lined street that'll cut you through the heart of the church, Wellesley Village. And over there we have the Jarvis Collegiate Institute, one of the oldest high schools in the city. That one originally dates back to 1807, although I think that building itself came a little bit later. Okay, we've made it to Wellesley Street East. RIP that person's back tire. This is a City of Toronto Employment and Social Services office. So from one iconic Toronto restaurant, the Hooker Harvey's, to another one. You've got the Keg Mansion just across the street. It was built in 1867. At one point, it was a part of the University of Toronto. It's part of the Keg Steak chain. Relatively affordable but decent steak chain. That location itself is quite nice. It's rumored to be haunted, if you believe that sort of bollocks. And this used to be the Berkeley Bicycle Club. A very little street called Cawthra Square that ends at a park that connects to the village. This has re-emerged as the Jarvis Mansion events venue. Another one of these old mansions. That one goes back to 1891. Elegant apartments for rent. So this one's been chopped up into units. Stainless steel appliances, granite counters, a fireplace. These are some lovely properties. Look at this one. The Rundle House. As we get to Gloucester Street, although it becomes Earl Place, just to the east. I think that's where the season 1 Kenny vs. Spenny home was. So this is Isabella coming up. This is where these reversible lanes should end. That cluster of towers just over there is where we're heading to. There's the Casey House. And they work with people who have HIV and AIDS. They've recently undergone a pretty big expansion. And it is only Jarvis Street for another block. There's the headquarters of the Evil Empire. Rogers, a huge telecommunications giant, which is now home to City TV and the Breakfast Television Studios. Quite unfortunately, they moved from Queen and John, one iconic location, to Young Dundas Square, another one. Two locations where you could say they very much had their finger on the pulse of the city and an interesting backdrop to their sets, but now corporate cheapness has led them to this spectacularly uninteresting location. And there's a look along Jarvis Street East. And we are on Ted Rogers Way now, named after the founder of Rogers. I mentioned this in the live stream I recorded yesterday, but walking in these temps when there's a breeze. Oh, it looks like that crane up One Bloor West is going up One Bloor East. That's an interesting vantage point. And I mentioned that walking into this warm breeze is kind of like having a hot blow dryer pointed at your face. No dog permitted in landscape area. Good luck enforcing that. If Junior's gonna hop up on there, are they gonna run out and stop him? And here we go, Dundas Street East, where I'm just gonna go east, keep the sun to my back, head over to Sherburne Station and we'll call it a wrap. There's definitely less foot traffic than you normally see. It's anecdotal, but I'd say less vehicle and bicycle traffic as well. People are probably making a point of staying home today. As we head over Mount Pleasant Road. I'd stop and look, but there's a guy behind me who seems kind of interested in my camera, so we'll keep moving. Apparently Rogers wants to redevelop that property. Thought to go to Castle Frank, but the sweat dripping down my back is telling me otherwise. There's a look southbound Sherburne Street. There's the new Glen Road pedestrian crossing. I guess I've been through here a few times recently. I did it on the live stream less than a week ago, and I made a video walking on the Glen Road pedestrian bridge for the first time not too long ago as well. So I'll wrap it up right in front of Sherburne Station with the Glen Road entrance. I do look forward to your thoughts and comments down below. And if you made it out in this nonsense, I'm curious to hear how you dealt with it. So let me know as well down in the comments. I'll do my best to read them all and occasionally reply to a few. Just a reminder, I go live on this channel 3-4 times a week. Yesterday I was out on the e-bike, and I go live on my other channel, Johnny Stumbles, usually about once a week on Sunday nights. I'm going to try to get more content up on that channel. I feel like I put in the effort for 3 or 4 videos just doing this one not super long one. I hope that guy's got hydration in his backpack. Anyways, I'm going to head into what I hope is a nice, cool subway station and make my way home. So thank you so much for watching. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. I'm just going to chill here in the cool tunnel. Anywho, thank you for watching. Yoink.